Netflix just did something that will seriously change the future of animation and VFX. And honestly, I don't think enough people were talking about it because this is not just another AI tool announcement. Netflix is reportedly building an internal AI animation studio called INKubator. And after reading this, the actual job postings and the reports, this feels much bigger than simple experiments. For years now, studios keep telling artists AI is just a tool, AI will help artists and won't replace the creativity. But this news feels different because Netflix not just adding AI into an existing workflow, they are building the workflow around the AI itself, and that changes the entire conversation. According to the reports from the news outlets, Incubator is focused on animated shorts and special projects using what Netflix calls as Gen AI native production pipelines. Even that wording sounds important. Gen AI native, not AI assisted or AI enhanced. AI native. That means production pipeline itself designed around a generative AI from the day one. And honestly, that kind of here is where things get really interesting for VFX artists and compositors. I actually went through one of the postings of the studio, and the posting itself tells a lot about the industry where it might be heading. Netflix is actively reaching out artists for this AI focused studio, and they especially mention compositing CG renders, generative AI outputs, AI based elements, 2D elements, interaction, relighting, tracking, and pipeline building. Basically, that was really production work. And honestly, that part was surprised me because if AI was truly one click make movie, why would Netflix still need compositors or technical artists or developers? Why would they need people troubleshooting scripts and building workflows? I think the answer is very important. AI is not replacing the pipeline heads, it's being inserted into the pipelines. That's the real shift is happening right now. And honestly, I think many artists are misunderstanding the danger. The scary part is not AI can make perfect film tomorrow. The scary part is studio might decide good enough is enough, especially for streaming content and short form content. It is for a world where discuss audience crawl streaming platforms today don't operate like old studios anymore. They need endless contents, clips, shorts, vertical videos, kids contents, social media and localized contents. Everything is become faster and traditional production pipelines are expensive and slow for that kind of turnaround. AI fits perfectly into that system, not because it creates better art, because it removes production bottlenecks. That may be the most important part of this entire story. Another thing that stood out to me is the job posting that was fast paced and sprint based environment that sound less like a traditional animation production, more like a software development culture entering in entertainment. Rapid iterations, smaller teams, faster turnaround, and constant experimentation. And if I being honest, the industry has been slowly moving to this direction anyway. AI is just accelerating it. At the same time, I don't think this means artists are instantly doomed because Netflix posting accidentally proves that something very important. AI still needs artists, a lot of artists. That posting repeatedly talk about storytelling, visual aesthetics, collaboration, lighting, composition, and artistic judgments. And honestly, that matches reality because right now AI is impressive technically, but still unstable in creatively. Consistency is still hard. Short continuity is hard, and emotion is pretty hard. Most important part of storytelling is pretty much hard. You can generate pretty images, but making an audience feel something consistently across entire production. Personally, I think we are entering in a weird middle phase in the industry. Not a full AI replacement, not traditional pipelines either. Hybrid workflows, where artists who understand AI tools pipelines may slowly become more valuable than the artists who completely ignore them. And honestly, that part is probably more realistic future. What also makes this story emotional for many artists is the timing, because animation and VFX were already struggling before AI entered in the conversation. Artists were already anxious. So when one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world start building a AI native animation studio, of course people react emotionally. because it feels like the future is changing in real time. And maybe the most uncomfortable truth in all of this is that audience themselves may accept AI generated content much faster than artist expects, because most viewers don't care how content is made. They care if it's entertain them. That's it. If something is funny, emotional or addictive or visually interesting, most people will watch it. They don't even care where it's come from. That's the hardest part. Even if artists hate the pipeline behind it, I think I think that reality it's what scares many people the most. At the end of the day, I don't think Netflix building incubator means the end of artists, but I do think it signals the beginning of a major industry transition, because this doesn't feel like a random AI test anymore. This feels like an infrastructure building, and historically, one infrastructure changes, industry slowly follows. So yeah, I genuinely think this is one of the biggest animation and VFX stories of the year. Not because AI become perfect, because Netflix is now building a production system around it, and honestly, that changes everything. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is just another experiment? It will fade off in future, or do you think this is the beginning of a completely different future of animation and VFX? Share your opinions in the comment box. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Topic Room VFX.